Oh shit, I was on mute. Okay, what a way to start a broadcast with um, this. To think that we'll still be talking about this uh, 2 weeks later, and just imagine what an action such as that, and we'll be talking about this still. The impact of such a man that basically tarnished his entire career based on one action. And it was to defend the honor of someone who is without it. Um, Tonight's broadcast is called The Problem with People Like Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, and there's a few problems to unpack here. But before we get into it, I would like for you guys to hit that like as you're walking in here. And also, if you are new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And, it's never, ever an easy thing to tackle something such as this because you always teeter on the line of, just basically gender spats uh but what I like for people to do when they come to this channel is to look at people as individuals and how that individual makes an impact on how we think and believe on a day-to-day basis in our society. First off, let me shout out people who were in the chat before I went on the air. um Hurry Up and Buy was in here. RPM, Long Live Brother, and Son is Hot Raw. But yeah, we're gonna talk about quite a bit tonight, and I may open up the panel for this one because this is something that black men need to understand. Because people like Will and Jada Smith, makes marriage seem problematic for black people. As a lot of us goal is to, here in these spaces and on these YouTube channels is to keep the keep everything steady in our quote unquote community. And witnessing things like this and witnessing these two throughout the years, um, kind of make that kind of makes that tough. So, uh, so you may ask, what are the problems that are with people like Jada Pinkett Smith? Um, which was something I could identify, sort of, kind of, even on the first episode of A Different World that she debuted on as Lena. Yeah, she came with this sort of sass that I didn't really like when I observed female behavior. She her character, for those who remember it or have ever watched older episodes older episodes of A Different World, was quite sassy. Yeah, very smart mouth. You know, very standoffish. Very I don't know, just had this kind of, just kind of already rebellion toward I mean, yeah, like she was already rebellious toward the black male. I mean, that's how her character was in the show. One of these, I don't know, just people that we were instantly annoyed with. But she was different nonetheless. But she was a forecast of things to come, as far as not only you know what she would display from that moment on till present day, but growing sentiment and behavior in women. Yeah, a very feminist mindset. And I wasn't, like, I would say myself, I wasn't her biggest fan. you know, and me in a very early age, I was already kind of, I don't know, aware of people like this. I guess through listening to my female relatives talk, and and carry on their conversations as a younger child, and understood that there were many things that they said themselves that I didn't like. And it just that it's just that I didn't you know match it up with the ideal of feminism. I didn't understand what it was until years and years later, till it was uh explained to me, and through various bits of information, and you know um explained to me by certain people. And once it was explained, it didn't come off to me as a women's rights thing, but it came off more to me as female supremacy, I would say. So, all right. So let me share this screen real quick. I just want to show y'all a couple things. But anyway, like I said, as you walk into this broadcast, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you are new to this channel, or you're watching the replay and you're new to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So, yeah. So, for those of you who, understand that when you have a certain number of subs, then they open up something on your page called a community tab. And, I like to use my community tab, and I get plenty of engagement there. But there's a screenshot that had been going around on social media, and I said that this explains quite a bit. And this was a this was a post by Jada Pinkett-Smith, and um, it states this. She says, "I just received the news that hashtag Bell Hooks has transitioned. This woman was my mentor when I first got into the spotlight, and I was very lucky that she took me under her wing to help guide my self discovery as a woman. With her books like Sisters of the Yam and Ain't I a Woman, I was introduced to Black feminist thought and experiences, as well as having access to her personal tutelage. She was brilliant, deeply loving, funny, thoughtful, and courageous. I will forever be grateful that I had an opportunity to know her as a friend and mentor during my young adulthood. Rest in love, Belle. A piece of your legacy is engraved on my heart forever." Okay, now, for those of you who has heard my rantings before on this channel, I am not a fan of feminism, let alone black feminism. I just don't care too much for it. And the reason for that is I don't understand at any point in history how black women felt oppressed by black men. Feminism was a way to counteract the so called quote unquote oppression that women felt from men. This way of empowering themselves. And is it usually came from Eurocentric thought, basically. White women felt like they were oppressed by white men. So black people, especially black women, adopted black feminism as if the same things were happening to them. And not only that, um, I wasn't a huge fan of bell hooks, like, not at all. And it's because of this quote right here. Okay. Yeah, it did not take me long to find this at all. And I'm going to read it to you. And this right here, quotes like this, and, people who have major influence, um, this kind of thing is very, very problematic. And it has been problematic for black men. And I will say this: black men made this problematic as well. And I will explain it after I read this. So it it states, this is an actual bell hooks quote: white women and black men have it both ways. They can act as oppressor or be oppressed. Black men may be victimized by racism, but sexism allows them to act as exploiters and oppressors of women. White women may be victimized by sexism, but racism enables them to act as exploiters and oppressors of black people. Both groups have led liberation movements that favor their interest and support the continued oppression of other groups. Black male sexism has undermined struggles to eradicate racism, just as white female racism undermines feminist struggle. As long as these two groups, or any group, defines liberation as gaining social equality with ruling class white men, they have a vested interest in the continued exploitation and oppression of others. Hmm. Okay. Now, as much as something like this triggers a person like me, and it's just that I don't understand why we as black men kept getting grouped with white women. And I would see this time and time again. When I first saw this quote, it explained a lot to me. It's BS. Because here's the problem with a lot of this. Number one, for some reason, women in this country are considered a minority, which would make black women a double minority, which kind of made black women look at black men like somehow we had some superstar advantage in the country. Although we were black, we were still men. So, because of our physical capabilities and, the fact that we were the more dominant half of the race, because we are, that for some reason we can put an oppressive thumb on black women. The thing is that black men in this country uh, gave black women, and I mean, like, not even so much gave black women, just kind of let black women be dubs. I'll say B dubs. Have the freedom to do whatever they wanted to do. Personally, I don't care about the struggles of other groups, but to be grouped in with another race of women is a bare ass insult. This is the first thing that I ever heard of bell hooks. Like, seriously, this was years ago. And I'm sitting up there like, how could she say this bullshit right here? And she's a feminist. And this right here really solidified it for me that feminism was some kind of way to, you know, undermine black men, I would say. That somehow, since we are the men, that we have the power to act on some kind of oppression. Now, I'm not talking about shit that happened even back in slave times, because it's like, I don't know, it just pisses me off quite a bit. But it was saying that both groups have led liberation movements, like it's like, what was the civil rights movement for? There were women literally put at the forefront in a lot of those movements. Like when Rosa Parks got arrested for sitting at the wrong spot in the bus, black people led by black men came to her aid. So what was so oppressive about that? The thing is, we as black men should have been tired of all of this crap being put on us because of the fact that we let black women, B dubs, have freedom of choice. They have the choice to do what they want to do. It's nothing that we can do to restrict them from doing what they want to do. And then when their poor choices go south, then they want to put the blame on us. And a lot of these dumbass ideas came from people like Bell Hooks, people like Alice Walker. Alice Walker is the author of The Color Purple, uh, a book that got translated into film and had damaging idealism that drove a wedge between black men and black women. And this is the part that where it becomes black men's fault. Black men participated in crap like that. Black men didn't say shit about, people like this saying crap like this. Until recent years, what black man ever stepped up and said that Bell Hooks was full of shit? This is why spaces like this exist. Yet, this was the person that mentored the subject matter, the person who is the subject matter for tonight's broadcast. A person that says that white women and black men have it both ways. Any black woman that believes this bullshit, I would challenge them to be a black man for one day. Just one day. I guarantee they will be never be more proud and feel more lucky to be who they are after that day is up. And it's quite insulting because a lot of us brothers, and a lot of us brothers don't understand why we are viewed by B dubs the way we're viewed. And granted that there are a lot of these little simps out here that want to avoid it altogether and believe that this kind of thing is not a problem, or want to push that this thing kind of thing is not a problem. And I get it. And don't no woman control me. Don't no woman tell me that I'm not in control of, and I get it. But see, men like that who think that way, this is why you believe that indirectly, that no woman can control you, that no woman can you know oppress you in any kind of way. It's indirectly because of people like this. So no, although she has passed on, no, I will not nor ever will be a fan of anything like this. And I don't understand why any black person would adopt a doctrine such as feminism ever. It's pure ignorance. Now, Okay, let's move on to this. And the headline reads: Jada Pinkett Smith never wanted to marry Will, cried at horrible wedding. Horrible wedding, huh? And this is also the part where it becomes a black man's fault. Why does Will put up with this shit? It's like he's oblivious, and he's is like, and I believe like one of the problems that Will does have is that he's trying to, I will say, out Pookie a Pookie. Not to say that Tupac is a Pookie. In many regards, the way he was back in the day would put him in that category. But but it's like Will is trying to prove something to himself. One thing is black men that we have to stop doing. We have to stop putting dumbass behaviors on a pedestal. We got to stop that shit. I mean, the problem, as I've said, in the past is what we have done is we have accepted the worst versions of ourselves, ratchetness and straight thuggery, and these have become acceptable behaviors by black folks. Very acceptable behaviors. And the calm, serene, so-called quote unquote good guy and good girl, those are behaviors that we steadily try to discard. We see these behaviors as being weak. We see these behaviors as being, in many instances, white. Yeah, for real. What we do is we pedestalize whiteness, just like Bell Hooks did. Actually, pedestalizing whiteness, like they act like that white women are, one of their problems, but they adopted a doctrine that is white female centered, and they put it to try to sit there and guilt and control black men to a very, very toxic degree. Jada Pinkett Smith never wanted to marry Will, cried at horrible wedding. Why did she marry Will? Why? Why did she marry Will? Now, if I'm not mistaken, by the time they did get married, Will was already very successful. I think by that time he had already been a rapper. He had already been the Fresh Prince. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air television show had already ran its course. Um, he had already done Bad Boys. He had already done Independence Day. Yeah, he was on his way to a very successful movie career as one of the top leading men in Hollywood. And from this image right here, it seems as if Will took this on the chin, which this he made a behavior that any normal man should not tolerate, acceptable. And look, and Will Smith, like in the black community, there are plenty of Will Smiths. There are plenty of them. There are plenty of them that will put up with that much crap just to have the acceptance of a woman that does not appreciate them, that does not appreciate the best versions. See, Will Smith, and like I said, this is very problematic for black men. Will Smith behaves in a way that makes being a quote unquote good guy unacceptable because many people believe that in order to be a good guy, you have to put up with a bunch of crap. This is why we have a certain one of my favorite YouTubers in the space, my one of my favorite content creators in the space, introduced this concept of the ruthless nice guy. Not that you have to be violent, not that you have to be forceful or aggressive. You can be nice, but you can nip that shit in the bud immediately. And the concept is introduced because of guys like Will Smith, ones that feels like that he has to be tolerable and nice and keep up this image and put up with all of this crap. And he is and this guy reps his family to the fullest publicly. But like many nice guys, or at least publicly nice guys, and I even felt like this at one point in my life. And I'm here to tell you guys that this is a very useless way to carry on. We actually feel like in many aspects in our life that we have to best the quote unquote thug, the quote unquote pookie, the hood guy, because the hood guy was always seen as the guy that had the most control over pussy. Let me be brutally honest about that. And we were brought up to believe that we had to validate ourselves through the female gender. I used to hear it all the time. All these guys always honestly believed, you know, honestly believed that they had to validate themselves through females and how many females that they were always able to sleep with. And if you were a man who did not know, or did not understand female nature, or didn't sleep with that many women, then somehow that was something that was very shameful. It brought shame to you. And here's the thing about Will Smith. He belonged to a genre of rap that, while he attained some measure of success and some measure of popularity, his style of rap was on its way out. And this new, more rugged, ruthless form of rap was on its way in. What will come to be known as gangster rap. That was introduced by groups like NWA. Or you had this raunchy style rap that was introduced by people like Too Short. Then, a lot of the more rugged style rap was also introduced, by rap acts such as UGK or 8 Ball and MJG. So his nice, happy style of rap was no longer acceptable. Guys like him and guys like Kid and Play and guys like MC Hammer, they were edged out immediately. So if Will tried to stay in the rap game, he would not have nearly had the success that he found in acting. Guys like Tupac Shakur, because Tupac, if I'm not mistaken, I think he came out in 1991. Those styles of rap were on their way in, while Will Smith's style of rap was on its way out. So already his character was met with many challenges, being seen as too nice, being seen as not gangster enough, not adapting to this ruthless style that was becoming very popular. The fact that our people as a culture started to accept these things, and actually, many men, because this looked very attractive to women, started to adopt the behaviors that were described in these songs, from the rugged street style to the highly sexually aggressive style. And that's not what Will Smith, aka the Fresh Prince, was about. So when you run into a person like Jada, who clearly did not want to marry Will, and like I'm just saying, this shit right here is humiliating. This shit right here is humiliating to, like, Red Table Talk was probably the biggest mistake that these two ever made in their relationship slash marriage, if one exists at this point. This is very humiliating for Will, and the reason why it's humiliating for Will is because the man is always seen as a person who is supposed to control the pace of how everything goes in their relationships, their sexual encounters, and even the marriage. How is it that Will Smith is not more respected by his family than, because he's held that entire family on his shoulders? I bet you any amount of money that all of that shit that's in the background of that picture was funded by Will Smith. But feminism. Let me read some things in this article, see if there's any relevant information. It said Jada Pinkett Smith confessed that she really didn't want to get married to Will Smith. And the questions I have is, why did she? Why did she get married to Will Smith? The one thing that I can come up with is the bag. It said, in fact, the Matrix actress, like, see, this is how, like when I think of the Matrix, I don't even think of Jada Pinkett Smith. In fact, the Matrix actress, now on the roasting spit of Smith's infamous Oscar smackdown of Chris Rock and the Academy's decision Friday to ban him from the ceremony for 10 years. Imagine that. You work hard to become this this very famous leading man actor with a career that spans over 30 years, and it got all and all of it is seemingly taken away by one act. And no, it's not fair for the black man to have to go through this, because there are many people in other groups that have done worse than what Will Smith has done. Maybe not smack somebody in front of everyone. Well, and I heard in a couple cases that happened. It says she admitted to crying down the freaking aisle before tying the knot with the Fresh Prince of Bel Air star in New Year's Eve in 1997. Oh, they got married on New Year's Eve. She states, I was under so much pressure, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant and I just didn't know what to do. Uh, she said, I never wanted to be married. I don't know. But let me see if this clip, well, no, that's one of them clips that have text in it, so it wouldn't really be any good to play it. And then they said this is something that surfaced from 2018. So, I mean, the internet is forever. So, any of you influencers up here, um, you would have to understand that when you say something, that it's going to last forever, especially in times such as these. So, you might want to watch what you say. And I'm this kind of person. I'm this kind of person. My thing is, if you never like, even if my wife were to come out and say I never wanted to marry you, which wouldn't make any goddamn sense. My question is, why? Why wouldn't you want to get married? I mean, why did you get married if you didn't want to marry me? I'm not the kind of person that wants to force anything upon anyone. My guess would probably be the bag. The bag. Wow, but I mean, I mean, these guys have been in the media so much in the past 2 or 3 years. And I'm not saying it's all Jada Pinkett Smith. What I'm saying is 95% of it is. The other 5% is just because Will Smith chooses to put up with the shit. And now he's serving it's not as, one of the best actors ever because I'm a fan of Will Smith. I'm a fan of his work. I Am Legend. I like that film. I Am Legend, the Bad Boys trilogy, and I hate that this happened to his career on account of someone who just plain isn't worth it. I cannot imagine putting my livelihood in jeopardy for someone like this. And Will, I'm sorry to say, is a much better man than me. He is a man that is willing to sacrifice for someone who totally does not see the value in him, especially after all of this time and all these many millions of dollars that this man has made, and the way that he has taken care of his family and held his family on his shoulders, including his mother-in-law, who was married 5 times herself and divorced 5 times. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say this about Will. And this is a problem with many black men. Weak men. Men who let too much shit slide. Men who are willing to put up with anything. And I mean anything. Just to validate their love for their women. And I get it. A lot of us don't want to be bested by a Pookie type, a degenerate type. And I'm sorry to say, rest his soul, Tupac, although a very intelligent person, as you will learn after his death, at the time, Tupac represented that type. Tupac, and I'm like, again, I'm sorry to say this, he had a very negative influence on the way young black men back then carried ourselves, but was seen as a very desirable type by women. That thug life, that I need me a thug type thing. I used to hear this from women all the time, especially when Tupac was popular. Because I'm actually the guy that heard this time and time again. I heard that I was too nice. Now, at one point in my much younger days, did I blame myself for not being as good with women as the Pookie type did? Yes, I blame myself. And I made adjustments, maybe unnecessary adjustments, to eliminate that difference because I actually, because of things like this, became ashamed of who I was. I felt as if I had to change. I didn't, it wasn't a very good change and it wasn't natural to my character. So I eventually just accepted it and said, hey, fuck it. I don't have to do anything to impress anyone. Yeah, and I took like a hard left into that. I was like, I went from "Ah, I'm a flawed individual, just for being classified as a good guy because um, this is when I concluded that being called a good guy by your own people was a social detriment. It was a death nail. Once you were classified as a good guy, your own people did not accept you. You weren't seen as a quote unquote masculine archetype. And hey, I did look, and this is one thing that stayed consistent in my character. I did not like my masculinity questioned based on the fact that I was supposed to be this quote unquote good guy. I didn't like that shit at all. And how dare anyone act like I wasn't any more man than these degenerate Pookie types because I wasn't out here acting like a piece of shit. And that's all I ever saw it as, you know, being blatantly disrespectful to women, always getting into fights, shit like that. Short tempered. That was seen as aggressive masculinity. And there was no way that I was ever gonna let anyone question my masculinity. And this is what happened to Will. This is probably a woman who questions his masculinity on a regular basis. And I don't believe he understood why. I bet you instead of him saying fuck it, he continued to question himself more and more and more, trying to win the heart of someone's heart that he should have already won. And I feel bad for the brother. A lot of us in this space and on social media, we make fun of Will. We call Will a simp. We give Jada Pinkett-Smith the lead position. You know why? Because a lot of you niggas out here are just plain matriarchal. You claim to be these bastions of masculinity, but y'all are more for the bitch than anyone. And I said this about KS a while back. A lot of people are just plain upset with KS and guys like, and I'm gonna have to say it, Russell Wilson, and upset with guys like Will Smith because they can't match these guys' level of success. Not completely excusing these guys, but let's face it, these guys have been met with a level of success that most of us will not see ever. Maybe KS. I mean, if we grow a big enough following on social media, but guys like Russell Wilson and Will Smith, whereas we may see them as simps, in many ways they're seen as alphas because they did the damn thing in their lives. And now we got Will Smith is on the verge of a breakdown for someone who has no honor, someone who was mentored by a person who said dumb shit like this. White women and black men have it both ways. How? How? How is being a black man not a challenge in this country? For some reason they think that we have it as good as white women. Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. But I mean, you guys can have like all this angst and all this resentment toward Will because a lot of you like to put the female in the lead position. Every time a female doesn't approve of a guy, every time a female tries to embarrass a guy, who's the first one to sit up there and laugh and to shame the guy who's being on the end of that shit? A lot of us black men are. And really, we should be ashamed of ourselves. But a lot of you don't believe so. And women like Jada Pinkett Smith knows this kind of thing. She knows that she will always have a leg up in a society such as this because we look at the men as such shit, especially black men. Say it ain't true. Say it ain't true. Any woman can come out with anything embarrassing about any man, like you guys in the chat. And believe me, there are going to be a group of people that are going to be looking at her and then looking at you in a humiliating fashion. Yeah, she embarrassed you, dog. This is how we look at Will. And granted, when he went up there and slapped Chris Rock like that, that was very problematic. Will embarrassed himself. Now, will we be looking at it differently? Him going up to slap Chris Rock? It had been a woman that was different and that was better than Jada Pinkett Smith? Ask yourselves that question. Would it have been as embarrassing? Would it have been as bad? Probably not. Chris probably would have made that joke in the first place. If it had been a woman better than Jada Pinkett. Yeah. My advice to men is this, and I'm saying this as a married man. Don't put up with it. Don't put up with it. You don't have to, especially if you are in control of your life as we speak. Not that you give up control if you get married, but you got to understand guys like Will. He gave up control not because he got married to someone like Jada Pinkett Smith. He gave up control because he gave up control. This man did everything. He did everything for her. And regardless of how we may feel about that, this is still a black man going through something that he should have never had to go through. And I get it. To an extent, yes. If a black man allows himself to be subjected to this, then yes, it's our fault. It'll always be seen as such. And it's a damn shame that it's seen that way, even if we have the best intentions in mind. We have a certain content creator that says that once you begin to trust a woman, everything that happens afterwards is your fault. And as egregious as that is, that's 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 what it's seen as. And this is why, and like I said, this is a lot of the reason why marriage is on the decline in the black community. A lot of black men are just saying fuck it, because more and more of this type of woman is on the rise in our community. I mean, look at social media. Look at the divestment community. Look at look at places such as B1. Look at a lot of these influencers. Not even so much a lot of these influencers. Go outside. Go outside. Go to your various businesses that black people frequent. You see many, 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 many examples of this. And like I said, I in good conscience cannot tell you to go marry one of these. I can't. I can't. If Will Smith was the bad guy, which a lot of us see him as the bad guy anyway, there would be a lot of females saying the same thing. In fact, they're telling you not to marry black men for way, way less. Anyway, let me see if y'all are see if y'all are helping me out as far as the likes. All right, I got 21 likes. I got 20 live viewers. So if you're in this broadcast right now, and you haven't pressed that like, hit that like button. You know, and let me go over some of these comments. Oh, there's plenty of them. There are plenty of them. Yep. Yeah. Let me. All right. So I see hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd powers in the building. What's going on? Long live my brother. And he asked a very good question. How in the world did black men oppress women? We didn't. We get blamed for a lot of bad decision making on their behalf. Oh, D Scott. Oh yeah, yeah. D Scott, if you're still in the building, thanks for the cash app. He cash apped me after the broadcast the other night. So thank you for that. Really appreciate the support. Oh, thoughts men aren't supposed to think. Oh, I see him. I see this person on Facebook said Jada is a Klanswoman. Yeah, I mean, if you are a feminist in the black community, you are in line with WS. Toya the Tutor, what's going on? Son is Hot Raw, the myth of white womanhood. Yep. The Black Messiah, what's going on? Says Will putting up with this is in now way different than the way we as black men generally continue to complain about modern BW as if they're a problem we can't devise a solution to. Okay, I see that I got a couple of super chats. Thank you, Son is Hot Raw. Say if you're a square and productive black man, unfortunately, you're not compatible with most B dubs who are westernized. And that is a very sad thing because it is like this. If once things go south in their relationships, all of a sudden, black men are toxic, which is stupid. I swear to God. But if you are a good, stable-minded black man, all of a sudden you're not desirable. It's like make up your motherfucking mind. RPM said, it's crazy though. Jada talks about Pac being the love of her life when Pac pretty much died broke. He wouldn't have been able to give her the life Will did. Ungrateful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a tremendous ingrate. Tremendous. The Black Messiah says, we as men all sitting around a BW red table thing giving our opinions on this shit, which is actually what's making that bullshit relevant. Yep. Hurry up and buy. Thank you for the super chat. He said, at Sun Ra, facts that black men with their shit together, business owners, investments, retirement, prominent black men, they don't want us. They want that hashtag thug life meat. Yeah, because they consider you if you are in control of your own life and you have options and you choose them and they live off you, they see you as an oppressor. And you know that's kind of weird, but for some reason that's what they believe. Yeah. And I guess this is the answer to the question of why would she marry Will under any of those circumstances? Said the bag, and she had another female in her ear, her mother. Yeah, because her mother probably, like more than likely, saw the potential in Will more so than Jada did at the time. Like this brother is about to be bankrolling or some shit like that. And Black Messiah said, "Quit crying because your women out of pocket and get your house in order, brothers." And, you know, I don't really like to use that word crying, but I see exactly what you mean. And I will tell brothers in a heartbeat, look, you know, just focus on becoming the best version of yourself. You don't want to find yourself in situations such as these. Indigenous TV, what's going on? He said, Black Messiah must be new here. He's still referring to black women as our women. Oh, yeah. So shout out to Indigenous TV. RPM. That's kind of why I didn't time him out. He's new here. And Indigenous TV will go on to say, Kev, this reminds me of Casino. Remember that film? Yes. Robert De Niro was going above and beyond and nearly lost his life, his money over a woman he knew didn't love him. Will is in the same boat. Uh huh. Exactly. And you know, a lot of you guys, y'all don't feel bad for Will. I do. I do. And Black Messiah says, I'm new to this particular chat room and channel, but trust I'm a member of the population and it's the same complaints in every group. So, Black Messiah, yes, we should start viewing this as a problem. Is a problem. And what my intent for having this channel is to wake brothers up. All you know, brothers don't have to do what I did. You don't have to get married. You know, you don't like. I mean, I got a good woman. She's very great with my daughter. We're great, but you know, I understand that all situations aren't going to turn out like our situation. Let's see, hybrid. Even as a crack queen mama, you always was a black queen mama. Yeah, yeah. We give our mothers larger than God complexes. We do. And you know that's by design. I mean, think about it. How like I always gave this example in the past. how much more Mother's Day is revered than Father's Day, and seeing that that's kind of unfair because our fathers really worked hard and you know busted their busted their asses to hold their families on their shoulders, on our shoulders, like Will held his. And we still can't get respect from society as a whole, not even other black men. Let's see. Jeffrey Whitlock, what's going on? Said, same here, Kev. I dated a dime briefly back in the 90s who told me I was too nice and she liked guys in the mode of Tupac. Yeah, I mean, and look, they can date who they want to date. Like I said earlier, they can date who they want to date. But the consequences are such they can't put that shit at our feet, even though they try to do that shit time and time again. Yeah, but y'all lighting this chat up as usual. I appreciate that. Raining woman, what's going on? If you're still here, always a pleasure. Prime VA 757, what's going on? I say, yeah, I feel sorry for Will. Jada isn't a good woman. No, she's not. I see you down there. He said, Kev, you got a hotel meter burner, and there's the black woman is God. Super move in the chat. Oh yeah, that's indigenous TV for you. But you know what though, I like the way y'all hold it down in the chat. Seriously, I do. I like the way y'all do it. Like seriously, y'all make this chat very exciting for me. And I mean like, um, look, look, we have a very evolved chat here because I do look at the chats in some of these other spaces, especially. Uh, it is what it is. Black Messiah, they getting on you, but you seem to be holding your own down there. So keep up the good work, brother. Like Indigenous TV said to hybrid, that's literally what it is. You could be smashing Big Booty Maria at 156 p.m. and it be Black Love. So what is what is hybrid said something very profound, I guess. I'm kind of just scrolling through these comments. Oh, okay, that's what he said. Becky, Mei Ling, Marisol, and Mira is coming for the BW spot. I mean, if I mean, like that's very true, and a lot of them don't like to hear it. But if whereas, and I heard a comedian say this a long time ago, and it wasn't really in reference to other races of women coming for us, but the this guy understood that a lot of these B dubs were coming with these horrible attitudes. And he said that he said it in this way. Whereas you won't do it, a raggedy bitch will. And we kind of swapped that up with what's going on today. Sun is hot raw. Thank you for the super chat once again. Says a lot of these dudes don't feel bad for Will because they have a Tupac mentality. They relate more with him than they do a Will Smith. Maybe it's not so much that they relate more to a Tupac, but they want to relate more to a Tupac because that looks cooler to them. And that has become the accepted norm. That's why, like I said, One of my favorite content creators. Be a ruthless nice guy. Raining Woman says Jada Pinkett-Smith is a narcissist. Yep, very much so. Chaos Rain is in the building. What's going on? Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power says chat is undefeated. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link, and for anyone that wants to come up and say what they need to say, or to speak on the topic itself, feel free to come up. But let me check out something real quick. You know how I like to do it. Yeah. Yep, I got 25 likes for this broadcast. So, once again, I would like to announce that, if you are in here and you are, haven't hit that like button yet, please do so. Um, and if you are new to this channel, like the Black Messiah, hopefully he has hit the subscribe button. Uh, it's like this. It's like this. Uh, I'm the kind of content creator that you don't have to agree with me. You don't. You don't have to agree with every little thing I say. You don't have to agree with everything the chat says. And hopefully, and what one thing that I do get is that the and hopefully they get it that the chat understands that you don't have to agree, especially the moderators. You don't have to agree with everything they say either. You know, just don't come in here talking crazy. So let me see. So, like I said, to the Black Messiah and to all of you, to Reigning Woman, thanks for, offering your support by offering me a view. And the more views this broadcast gets, the more it places this channel in the algorithm. Reigning Woman says Jada will never be satisfied with Will Smith, but honestly, not any man. That's why she's forever triangulating Will with either other men or other things, even with Tupac. Yeah. See, Jada Pinkett Smith's young days are over. Her young days are over. I mean, I believe she tried to recapture a lot of that with August Alsina due to her quote unquote regrets of marrying Will Smith. I see you down there. You said Keisha disrespectful? Alpha your way through it. Man, damn. I wonder were some of you around for that broadcast I did. Alphas and betas do not exist in the black community. We had a whole alpha your way through a spiel going on. Well, this is off topic. Uh, Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power. He said, Kev, did you see my guy Aljamain Sterling beat that foolish Russian fighter Peter Yan, kept the belt, and all the haters are mad. Yeah, cause yeah, like he won the belt through dubious circumstances. Like, well, not really dubious. I forgot how he won the belt, but he didn't exactly knock the guy out or made him tap out or anything. But if he beat that guy, and I didn't see it, but he beat the guy and he legitimized himself as a champion. Now, getting the belt is one thing, keeping the belt is another thing. Said he ragdolled him last night. Shoot, yeah, and because and a lot of that comes from the fact that he's a man that has something to prove. He has a lot to prove, you know, just like Will Smith felt like he had a lot to prove. Indigenous TV. Keisha sent goons to your spot, alpha your way through it. Said Keisha got a filthy apartment, alpha your way through it. So Indigenous TV said dudes literally arguing that black men should willingly endure the unnecessary stress. Uh, uh, and for those dudes, I strongly disagree. You shouldn't have to put up with anything. And I'm not even saying that as a, well, you're a black man. We go through enough. I'm not even saying it in that vein. It's just the fact that it's stupid to put up with undue stress. It's stupid. And if you do put up with it, who do you believe that's going to be blamed? It's like you're damned if you do it, you're damned if you don't. And that's just what it is. However, catastrophic impact X83rd Power says a feminine woman would never put her man in a situation that could get him locked up or killed. Yeah, and then sadly enough, there are many examples of that. Sadly enough, there is. And, I feel bad for brothers like that, but at the same time, it's coming into the day where we are privy to so much information and more men like me trying to warn these guys about the foolishness that, even some of us have subjected ourselves to. And a lot of these guys, unfortunately, are going to get themselves in these dumbass situations anyway. And Black Messiah, an emotionally immature, unstable woman will, though, and our women have a right to be a little fucked up, as do we black men. Uh, I'm gonna chalk that up to nobody's perfect. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do as the content creator and the host of this channel. I'm gonna chalk up that statement as nobody's perfect. Because I don't want to. I'll let the chat take care of it. Take care of it in the other way. I mean, I don't mean like using your moderator wrenches, but you're allowed to offer your point of view to a statement like that. Prime VA 757 says, Alpha your way through it is a cop out to not hold BW accountable. Mm-hmm. Indigenous TV says, remember Chris Henry hanging off the back of a truck dealing with his Keisha? He lost his life trying to alpha his way through it. Unfortunately, he can't alpha his way through death. Nah, I'm good. Let me look up Chris Henry. But, y'all got some very interesting dialogue. I got some very interesting dialogue going on right there. Chris Henry was a wide receiver. He was a wide receiver for looks like the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, yeah, he did. And it says, what happened to wide receiver Chris Henry? Oh shoot, let me. I want everybody to read this as you know, see what I'm reading. Let me share this screen. Oh, not that, not that. Uh, said what happened to wide receiver Chris Henry? Let's see. Let me highlight it. Said Henry died on December 17th, 2019, 2009, when he was dragged from a moving truck that his fiancee was driving after a verbal altercation. An autopsy revealed that Henry had developed chronic trauma encephalopathy (CTE) during his playing career due to repetitive hits to the head. Okay, and it just seems like that his fiance didn't make things better for him. That's one thing when you're going through something like that to have an argumentative person on your side that causes you repeated stress. That's just not good for you. It's not good at all. And R.I.P. for that. R.I.P. to that brother. Who was that just died? Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, he was. I think he was supposed to be Ben Roethlisberger's follow up because Roethlisberger had just retired. Let's see. Yeah, and like his woman. Yeah, he was in a domestic dispute with his woman, and his woman was the abuser. Let's see. Real sad though what happened to Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins. Show y'all. Yeah. Let me see. Now, this is the guy that just died because he got hit by a truck. Read this headline right here. Steelers QB Dwayne Haskins' wife is arrested for knocking out his tooth and splitting his upper lip during substantial bust up in Vegas where they went to celebrate their commitment to each other. It like from what I hear, now I haven't seen this, but from what I hear, a lot of sisters was actually making fun of his death because of who he was married to. And like I said, in Black Messiah, and I get it, I get it, but there's too many dumb examples out there. You have to understand, yeah, although is how you say we as black men are a little fucked up, and you saying the women have to be, you know, they have a right to be a little fucked up as well. It is a group of guys that aren't fucked up, and no, they should not have to put up with fucked up women. And I will not ever suggest that a black man has to put up with a fucked up woman. But before Dwayne Haskins died, he had to put up with this shit right here. Yeah. Business TV said his wife is mixed. She knocked his tooth out during a domestic dispute. So, so which half you think did it? No, I'm just playing. Which half you think did it? I just had to ask. Just, I mean, but yeah, son, son is hot. Ross said absolutely not. I think he's saying this in agreement to what I've said about, you know, good brothers, and I say that very literally. Good brothers should not have to put up with fucked up women, and I don't suggest that good women put up with fucked up dudes, but a lot of the reason why a lot of these guys do quote unquote have these complaints is because it's seeming like these quote unquote good women are choosing fucked up dudes. And it's not that they are choosing the fucked up dudes, it's that they're complaining about the results and trying to put that shit at the feet of men who ain't got shit to do with it. Indigenous TV, her mom is black and her father is white. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Say a hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. His wife must have been a boxer or something. Knocked his tooth out. Wow. I mean, listen up, man. Listen up. And the same thing with who was that football player that I covered it in a video. Forgot it was DJ something. Shoot. What? Here's the thing with these football players. Since football players are big, muscled up guys, uh, they have to be somewhat softies with these women because these women can put them out in the pasture. Let me see. DJ Fluker. Yeah, DJ Fluker. Yeah, he had an abusive baby mama. The black market. That must be the black messiah. The black messiah has been timed out for no justifying reason. Yeah, hey, just kind of watch that timeout button, guys. Just kind of watch that timeout button, you know. I mean, I'm not anywhere where I can control it, but yeah, but the one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to run people away from this channel. You know, you just save them timeouts for Son is hot. Ross says the black market don't like you were insulting the chat. Indigenous TV said Dwayne Haskins was 6'3", 225, and she hit him like Buster Douglas did Mike Tyson. Uh, Indigenous TV timed out the Black Messiah for referring to himself in the third person. Okay, just like I said, just be very sparing with those timeouts down there. Like I said, I don't want to run people away from the channel, and I say that knowing that I've been timed out in chats for quote unquote stupid reasons. But anyway, let's see. It's been almost an hour and a half. I did drop the link down there, so anybody, don't call them sensitive, man. Don't call them sensitive. Like that's one word I do hate. I do hate the word sensitive. But But I would be upset too if I were timed out. So I do. You say, well, you just having fun with the brother. Yeah. I mean, they're giving you an introduction to the channel. And this channel, to remind you guys, this channel is named Black Men Being Brutally Honest. This channel is based off the Facebook group that I created uh, almost 5 years ago. It will be 5 years as of the 29th of this month. And yeah, and look, I'm glad that the group has lasted this long on Facebook. The group is nothing what it used to be. It's nothing what it used to be, because I'll say this much: the Kevin Samuels Facebook groups have taken over the scene. But somebody just put a post, and and it's a Will Smith post. So, excuse me. So this does go along with the subject matter, and he just said, and Black Messiah, this chat right here, they just don't time out people just like that. This is not a chat that times out people very often. So, yeah, I try to monitor that as much as I can, but at the same time, it ain't like we just time like it's not like other chats. We just don't time out people left and right. It's just that uh, timing you out was a rarity. So let me read this post. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but since I can read and you guys can understand English, you can follow along with me. It says Will Smith is devastated, and it has bullet points. Here's the first bullet point: 10 years of the Oscars ceremonies was vetoed. Now, here's what I'll say about that first bullet point: that black actors and black entertainers and black performers probably need to pay more attention or endorse the black award shows a lot more. That way we can avoid mess like this. Have it to go to a source, a, a an awards ceremony that was constructed by another group of people. We have got to stop focusing on being rejected by other groups of people. You know, and in turn rejecting everything that we come up with as blacks. Here's another bullet point. It said his biographical film was canceled. They was gonna make a film based on his life. Mm. Said Bad Boys 4 was canceled. No, Bad Boys 4 was just put on hold. Like I would have to believe that they will restart production of that. Cause I mean, like, one thing that we have to understand is like, we as black men, we're gonna be punished a lot more in a society that doesn't accept us in the first place. And another bullet point. There's several bullet points here. Said the Fast and Loose movie he was shooting for Netflix has been canceled. The movie I Am Legend 2 no longer wants it said no longer wants Will Smith, and they offered Michael B. Jordan the role. He was expelled from the Academy of Science and Cinematic Arts. He didn't resign, he was fired. His wife didn't back him up. In an interview for US Weekly, he declared that she didn't ask to be saved and called him exaggerated. Uh, Here's another bullet point. His wife's boyfriend is going to take out a book charging a fortune to sell his story. Also, Chris Rock's brothers are looking for him. They publicly said, "We are going to tear you apart." That's Tony Rock, and yeah, that's his brother backing him up. But for him to put so much emphasis on it, is this a is this a plug for himself? Meaning that this is a way for him to is this a way for him to I don't know, get some popularity to capitalize off the situation because here in America we are a very capitalist society. All right, here's another one. No producer wants to work with him or on any kind of project. Here's another one. Their dramatic series Bel Air reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air is being smashed by criticism. And the last bullet point, at this moment, he is in rehab to control his depressions and temper tantrums of anger. The last bullet point to me is just telling me that he has been gaslighted to the fullest. Here, and Black Messiah say, here, I am thinking Hotep means peace. Well, in recent years, it's taken on a whole new meaning. And, you can blame social media for that one. Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power says, Tony Rock said if anyone comes onto the stage, they ain't nominated for shit but these hands. Indigenous TV says, at the Black Messiah, in this space, Hotep is mocked relentlessly. I think that one example of a Hotep probably would be Dr. Umar. Yeah, because Dr. Umar, and let me tell y'all something. I've been watching Dr. Umar for years, and Dr. Umar has changed his. He even though it's been more consistent in recent years, Dr. Umar has changed his stance on interracial dating and marriage several times. Because um, I remember back in the day, I was watching early Dr. Umar, and Dr. Umar said that basically that if you want to date, like dating white women as a way of conquest over the oppressive group, the oppressive group's women. The man said there aren't any hoteps in the space that I can think of. Well, I mean, maybe from chat to chat. But anyway, I'm about to bring this one. Not yet. I think I have a little bit more to say. I think I do have a little bit more to say. It's like, look, guys. Hopefully, for the ones of you who aren't married or hope to get married one day, or maybe will find a special someone. Um, hopefully, they're either not like Jada or they're not on their way to becoming a Jada. Yeah. There you go. Hydra Catastrophic Impact X83. He said, that man said, Dr. Umar told me to work on my root chakra, whatever that is. LOL. Yeah, Rainy Woman, you're still here. Now, a lot of people are starting to argue that maybe she probably really does not have alopecia. I mean, that she just shaved her head. And you know how they are with, the head shaving. Is I don't know. I better not say that. I better not say that. Maybe alopecia is a real thing. Yeah, alopecia is a real thing. You know. The man said Indigenous TV said Sodinator thought about coming to the manosphere after those females did him dirty. That was his wake up call. He ain't been sent Nader since. Yeah, he ran into problems with the B1 females. I think in particularly Nyla and Cynthia G. And and he tried to come to the manosphere by way of, I believe, O'Shea. Black Messiah says, "Can you imagine the influence Pac must have had on her?" Yeah, we have discussed it ad nauseum. The influence that Pac had on Jada. We have discussed it ad nauseum, and I even found the Breakfast Club interview that Will Smith said that he was actually jealous of Tupac because of how his wife felt about him. Indigenous TV says Saw Nader had to learn the hard way. He did all that cape in SMH. Yeah. Let's see. Let me check out something real quick. And I'm probably going to have to do a closing statement. Because this is, let me tell you something. Unless something else crazy happens, and that is what is likely to happen, especially with Will and Jada. Unless something else crazy happens, this is probably going to be my last broadcast discussing these people. And then we're going to move on to back to more original content that comes out of the recesses of my brain. you know, but yeah. But if you have not been taught the great lesson in this situation right here, Art New Style, what's going on? Good to see you, brother. If you haven't been taught the great lesson by this situation right here, then either you aren't someone who comprehends pretty well, or you still have yet to learn. Like, stop hooking up with women that do not see the value in you. You as a black man, and I had to learn this in my younger days. You as a black man should not have to put up with garbage. You have put up with enough in your life. You really have, and don't let anybody, not even someone like the Black Messiah, tell you that you have to put up with it because it's beyond necessary. And I don't want to see brothers continuously do things that hurt themselves, even for a woman. Because I'm telling you, society, society is likely not to blame her, even though it's kind of hard at this point not to blame Jada. Society is going to blame you because at this point, we as black men, we should have known better. Sheed We Here is in the building. A level headed brother and an up and coming content creator in the space. Definitely check his channel out. However, catastrophic impact X83rd power. But Kev, she thick, LOL. I know he ain't talking about Jada, but yeah, yeah. I always ran into them friends. Like, I would have these friends, and I mean these people that I still keep in touch with today. I mean, people I've run in throughout the years. Even guys that I've known for like a year and then they'll just kind of disappear. Is women could have sour ass character. The first thing that these guys will tell me is, "Oh man, you still fuck her though, wouldn't you? You still fuck her." Now, how many times have you guys heard that? You'll still fuck her, wouldn't you? And I mean, in a lot of instances, yeah. But physical and mental and emotional are different things. You'll get you'll get physical with her doesn't mean that you're gonna eternally put up with her bullshit. I mean, it is TV. Yeah, don't pass on a pretty non-black woman that genuinely feeling you just because they aren't black. That's straight insanity. Look, look, I'm not look, and this is something that a lot of B dubs don't understand. Just because a man dates a non-black woman, that is not a put down to you as a black woman. It's not. But the thing is about that is likely if you are a black man, the group of women that had first access to you were black women, which means that 9 times out of 10 or 9.5 times out of 10, they already had their chance to lock you in. Says ninjas be acting like non-black women don't have ass. They do, and good personalities and everything. Man, y'all don't watch TikTok videos? Man, let me tell you something. Look, this might get me in trouble one day, but TikTok videos are in my algorithm. It's like I hit a couple of them, and then like they're just coming out of nowhere. There's all kinds of women that are non-black that got ass, and I'm sitting up there like, God damn, dude, a lot of these women exist. The fuck? It's like shit. I'm like, this shit gonna get me in trouble one day. This shit gonna get me in trouble. That man said RPM said can't bring up legacy when most black women get knocked up by bombs. Yeah, I'm afraid so. I mean, it's it's kind of like a lot of these brothers out here, like I said, that level headed that don't have kids. A lot of them they will start out preferring black women, but see, by the time they get to a lot of these women, they already got kids. And check out my video as to like the ones where I said the first people who told me not to mess with single mothers because they're ready-made families. You don't want a ready-made family. You want to you want to start off with your own legacy. You want your own offspring. You want the little bugger to look like you and to come from you, not to come from somewhere else. And that's for several reasons. Yeah. Yeah, regardless of what your opinion regardless of what your opinion is of Black Messiah, I'm glad that that there are intelligent brothers that do frequent this chat. Because, like I said, I look at, and I mean, like I'm guilty of getting people in my algorithm that don't share in the exact opinions or rhetoric that I share in. Like what I do is I look at a certain person's chat to see if they have evolved in any way or their chat and it seems like their chat is in unison with hating black men, calling us nakers, calling us dusties, like just everything negative to say about a black man. Now when I look at this chat is an exchange of ideas. Whether we agree or we don't agree, there's not much disrespect going on, and that is and 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 that is something that I do appreciate about the chat. Is that you can read a lot of the comments in my chat as opposed to this other content creators chat, and you could actually learn a lot by reading a lot of these comments. But at the same time, that chat and that person has a much bigger live audience. And what distresses me about that is not sour grapes, it's not jealousy, is the fact that you have people that are so divisive that they are large in numbers. And I had my fellow habitual line stepper explain it to me earlier, and Roger explained it to me in a very sensible way, and he said it just like this: this society is built to be against black men. So doctrines such as what these content creators carry around, they're very popular because they are anti-black man. And that's a shame. But, Roger is one of the guys. And pretty much a lot of you guys too. Like I would say somebody like a War Child Games, and even Toya the Tutor would encourage me to keep pushing and to never give up. And for that, and not just that, but my own inner strength, I continue to keep pushing. I will continue to keep pushing. And it's because I appreciate people like you who are watching in the clouds and the people who participate in my chat broadcast after broadcast. You guys are very informative, you're very educational, and you're very entertaining. And for that, look, let's continue to help this channel grow and amongst other channels. And one day, maybe one day, we can turn this thing around. So, thank you guys once again for coming here. This is Kev. If you haven't, please like this broadcast on the way out. Um, I may come to you if I can come up with a good idea, but likely I'll come to you with another broadcast tomorrow night. And be on the lookout for uploads. So I do those as well. So long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev we trust. I am going to win. We are going to win. Till the next time.